Hello, good afternoon and welcome to News Hour on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We are also live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We are also live on Ghana Television. The government of Hungary has expressed its readiness to increase the number of scholarships for Ghanaian students from the current 177 to complement government's efforts at providing access to quality education. The visiting Hungarian President János Áder, who announced this at a Deba in his honor at the Menchia Palace in Kumasi, said he was encouraged that Ghanaian students on scholarship in his country return home after studies to help build the nation. The visiting president and his wife Anita, as well as his delegation, accompanied by the Sanitation and Water Resources Minister Madam Cecilia Dapa, were led to the Menchia Palace by the Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei-Mensah. The Sanitation and Water Resource Minister enumerated a number of water projects that Hungary has supported, including the Dambai Water Project, which is estimated at about 30 million euros.
The Hungarian Exim is also giving us a loan of 30 million euro to work on the Dambai Water Project. Coming to Kumasi, I am sure that the regional minister and the mayor of Kumasi will also bring up the subject of twinning cities for between Kumasi and one of the municipalities in Hungary.
The Hungarian president, Mr. János Áder, stressed the importance of the information technology in accelerating national development. He said his country is ready to train Ghanaian students in the area of medicine, agriculture and engineering. He gave the assurance that Hungary will increase the number of scholarship beneficiaries.
There is the technology in our possession that could be of assistance to you in resolving your problems here. I think globally, everywhere in the world, including Ghana, the greatest question nowadays is, will we have enough quantity of good quality water in the future? It is no coincidence, I believe, that when a guest arrives in your palace, the first thing he receives is a drink. So I come bearing the message. If you say we need clean drinking water, we can offer suitable technologies to produce that. If you say that the water purification, water treatment plant in Kumasi is working well, operating well, and you need others, we are ready for that as well.
The Asantehene Otumfuo said, even though Ghana is an agrarian country, most agricultural products are imported. This, he says, put pressure on the country's limited foreign exchange. He said the palace is aware that Hungary is currently assisting 3 out of the 16 regions in meeting their water supply needs, and pleaded with the Hungarian president, Mr. János Áder, to extend the support to other regions of the country.
As you have discussed in Accra with the president, we would also want to say that, yes, at the top level you've discussed, but Kumasi and Ashanti and other regions also need the water treatments. I know that there has been 3 of them started with a private company, Jospon. I have 16 regions in Ghana, and I need all these water treatments also in various regions. And therefore, as we've started with 3, I'm left with 13 regions in Ghana that I will seek for your support so that we can still build all these water treatments in those regions.
The University of Environment and Sustainable Development at Somenya has held its second commencement lecture to begin the 2021-2022 academic year with a focus on securing the environment and the role of the university in mitigating climate change. The lecture sought to identify ways to combat the effect of climate change in the country.
Recent report on Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change cautions about a looming rise in temperatures by 1.5 degrees Celsius globally. According to research, more than 30 years of climate records in Ghana show that average temperatures are likely to increase by at least 3 degrees Celsius by 2080 nationwide. The savanna regions are likely to record temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius, while rainfall variability will be high in the forest regions than the rest of the country, among others. It is to identify ways to mitigate the effect of climate change in the country that the University of Environment and Sustainable Development chose the theme, Securing the Environment, the Role of the University in Mitigating Climate Change, for its second commencement lecture. The Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Eric Nyako Simpson, expressed the hope that the lecture will be a wake-up call for all to work towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
As a university, that today's lecture and the others to come would prick the conscience of all of us, especially individuals and institutions at the helm of environmental-related issues, to rise and work together so that we can meet the various sustainable development goals.
The Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Henry Kwabena Kukufu, urged the university to go back to the indigenous knowledge of protecting the environment, since the country has lost touch with that.
Can this university engender the conversation of going back to our roots? Bringing the qualities in indigenous knowledge when it comes to environmental protection and management. Aligning effectively with the traditional authorities, who are the custodians of our customs, our norms. Let them have input in whatever we're talking about when it comes to environmental protection.
The MP for Yilokrobo, Mr. Albert Nyakute, appealed to the government to continue with the fight against illegal mining to ensure that the gains made will be sustained. The Director General of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, Professor Victor Kwame Ajimai, advised both students and lecturers to build bridges between themselves.
Success comes through hard work and sleepless nights. All that I want you to note is that there is no room for complacency. There is also no room at all for the fact that you are going to get disappointed. Because as for disappointment, it is not only when you are students, for publications, for proposal writing, you will be disappointed several times.
The Ghana Police Service has placed a 10,000 Ghana cedis bounty as an informal reward for anyone who offers credible information leading to the arrest of thugs who invaded and vandalized the Adan radio station and assaulted the staff on Thursday, January 13, 2022. The police has urged the staff of the station and the general public to remain calm as it conducts investigation into the incident. It says a team of investigators and intelligence officers from the national and regional headquarters are currently supporting the Adan Divisional Command to investigate the incident and get those involved arrested and prosecuted. It also gave the assurance that adequate measures have been put in place to protect the radio station and its staff as efforts to arrest the culprits continue. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Information has condemned the attack, saying the action by the thugs was unnecessary and without justification. In a statement, the Information Minister, Mr. Kwadwo Oppong Nkrumah, said attacks on this nature are unacceptable and the perpetrators must be identified and action taken with the law. According to the statement, the minister has spoken to management and staff of the station and asked the National Media Commission to take action on the issue. Inadequate voluntary blood donations at the National Blood Service, mainly due to the COVID-19 virus, is preventing the facility from supplying the needed national blood demand average of 500 pence per day. The situation is adversely affecting the management of some health conditions at health facilities across the country and causing many deaths. Our reporter Gifty AJ visited the National Blood Service in Accra and has more on this report.
Blood is a highly specialized tissue of the human body composed of more than 4,000 different components. About 7 to 8% of one's weight is said to be blood. Recognizing the role of blood in the human body, globally, specialized institutions, christened blood banks, have been set up to process and make blood available in times of emergency. This is Ghana's National Blood Service, which was established many years ago. On a daily basis, the public is expected to walk in to donate blood. The session takes between 5 to 15 minutes to donate 450 milligrams of blood, an equivalent of a pint. Ironically, about 90% of the donors we met at the center were not voluntary donors, but have visited the facility to donate for a relative who has a condition and needed blood. Officials of the center are not happy about the low level of donations at the blood bank. They attribute this to factors including COVID-19.
We are always in a shortage of blood. We are always in a shortage, and then people do come here very aggressively because they show the card to us that, oh, I'm a donor. I've donated so many times, so why can't you give me blood?
Apart from we, the personnel, being available to work, we don't get the usual donation that we are supposed to get in order to prepare the component to meet the needs of the facilities that come for the blood. So, in fact, as for COVID, it has affected us.
At the processing stage, we got to know that when one donates just a pint of blood, about 4 products can be generated, including red blood cells, platelet, and plasma, and these can be used to correct some medical conditions. These different blood types are then given to different groups of patients.
If, let's say, your problem is a clotting problem, so you have a deficiency in clotting factors, like patients who have hemophilia, and you are bleeding, and the specific treatment, which is factor concentrate, is not available, then you benefit from a plasma product. It depends on the hemophilia and which plasma product you will benefit from. So those are the main blood components we have.
We got a shock of our lives at the storage facility, the final point where blood is dispatched. The trays of the storage facilities were virtually empty.
This freezer is supposed to contain fresh frozen plasma, but as you can see, they are all empty, which means that the public is not donating blood as they are supposed to.
This is the blood supply chart for the National Blood Bank. Today, some health facilities have brought their orders aside the Kolebu maternity ward and the entire Kolebu teaching hospital facility, which is always constant. Ideally, 500 pints of blood is needed to supply the entire country in a day. Officials of the National Blood Bank say the way out is for the public to donate. A process blood donors say is not painful and fast.
It's not a difficult experience to go through, but sometimes you have people trying to discourage you.
Well, I'd like to encourage the public. If you have the courage, you have the chance to donate blood, you should help. Because people are out there who are suffering.
For Mr. Edward Bano, he has donated 86 times and counting.
My blood group is O negative, universal donor, and I'm proud to be a universal donor. I can give anybody blood if you need it.
Blood donation, according to the expert, is good for one's health. Studies have shown that blood donation lowers the risk of some cancers, and when an individual donates blood, he or she gets a free health checkup.
Reporting for GBC News, Gifty J, National Blood Service, Accra.
The Akwapemlate Health Center in the Eastern Region has received medical equipment worth 50,000 cedis from the Akwapemlate citizens living in Canada and United Kingdom.
The items include bed sheets, desktop computers, BP and diabetes monitors, lancets, strips and dressing packs. The rest are plastic chairs, office cabinets, metallic shelves, dustbins and sanitizers. A founding member of the association, Mr. Fred Labi, said the gesture is in response to a request made by management of the facility.
It was through the request from the hospital that they needed help so that they could operate effectively. There was a pump which was not even functioning. So we raised money to help fix the pump so that there's now water in every facility that they have here.
The physician assistant in charge of the facility, Mrs. Ellen Abbey, thanked the association for the gesture and called on other citizens living in the diaspora to emulate. She also called on the government and benevolent organizations to help tar the road leading to the health center.
We are grateful unto them because we wrote to so many people, but none of them came to our head. But they promised to do it, and today, God willing, we have it.
The Evangelical Presbyterian Church of Ghana has inducted Reverend Dr. Lawson Janku as a new clerk of its General Assembly at a ceremony at Ho in the Volta region. The moderator of the General Assembly of the Church, Right Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Bliss Divine Agbako, urged Christians to pray and encourage people in higher authority to perform and succeed.
Reverend Dr. Lawson Janku, 52, was elected as the clerk of the General Assembly of the Church at an extraordinary meeting in August last year. He takes over from Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Ame, whose 6-year term ended on 31st December last year. Reverend Dr. Janku was the synod moderator of the Central Western Presbytery of the Church, with its headquarters in Takoradi until his election last year. The moderator of the General Assembly of the Evangelical Presbyterian Church, Ghana, Right Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Bliss Divine Agbeko, urged the new clerk to support his administration as moderator to change the fortunes of the church.
Pray that God's Spirit will use you so that we agree to do God's work, not our will, but God's will. The value and power of a seed is not in its size, but in the quality of the fruit it produces as a tree or vine.
We promise to uphold all our constitutional and statutory tenets throughout the period in this high office. Together, we will bear new fruits. We also know that with Christ as the captain in our vessel, we shall succeed. We pledge our allegiance to God and our dedication to His dear church.
Dr. Reverend Janku is a teacher by profession. He has also worked as the chairman of the Research Ethics Committee of University of Health and Allied Sciences and chaplain of the EP University, where he still lectures. He is married with 6 children.
An unidentified man who was knocked down by a hit-and-run vehicle last night at Kwadaso in the Ashanti region is in critical condition at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. According to eyewitnesses, the man was crossing the Kwadaso-Ehemasi Road when he was hit by an unregistered private vehicle at about 9:30 p.m. The driver failed to stop to attend to the victim. Residents at the scene quickly rushed him to the hospital. The eyewitness said the driver sped off for fear of being attacked by the residents. We'll be back shortly after this break.
Hey, mommy, I have on some new Jumewa.
Oh, yes. Great job. Great reward.
Do you know about 6 people lose their lives daily in road accidents and a lot of them are passengers?
It is not my portion. Those people, their prayers are not strong.
What would you do now if there is a road crash?
I would just grab the seat and shout, Jesus.
Do you feel good about yourself?
Papa. Wow, she said the uncle for Papa driver. Tiaso.
Mommy, are you sure you're not the devil?
Make you not do Abonsamejuma. Stay alive. This Stay Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
It is a nightmare dealing with the filth in Accra. The gutters are choked with garbage. The streets are a jumble of filth. The beauty of the serene beaches is marred with human feces and plastics, as many defecate in the open. Residents are up in arms when the situation gets out of hand.
Because of these meetings, you can't even stand there for even a minute. As we speak here, even mosquitoes even refuse to breathe on it.
Partners in sanitation suggest alternative policy interventions.
Landfilling is not the way forward. We are recommending treatment facilities.
But in all of this, have we made gains in the sector?
How can you have a people who have a lot of dignity and still practicing open defecation?
The task facing Ghana to achieve SDG Goal 6 on clean water and sanitation for all is Herculean and riddled with equally complicated hurdles. Join us every Thursday on Wash Hour from 4:05 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we seek to put these issues and more in perspective. Watch a repeat on Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. and on Sundays 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. It is our duty to keep our surroundings clean and free from disease.
Yes, Charlie, safety first, yeah? Carry on.
Officer, are you doing the devil's work too?
Oh, yes, the pay is good.
But this driver could cause a lot of damage, you know?
Oh, who cares? Upon some age, they no pity you. Everyone for himself.
Aren't you worried the service will dismiss you for conflict of interest?
Who's going to tell them about me? You?
You are setting a bad example.
Am I the first to do this? Oh,
do you see yourself stopping this job anytime soon?
Not even in my dreams. I should stop. For what?
But do you feel sorry if bad things happen?
Anyone that falls on the bad side has natural selection to blame.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do Abonsamejuma. Stay alive. This Stay Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
Oh, get off the phone. Can't you see? Hello, ma'am. So you've applied for the devil's work?
Oh, yes. It's such an easy job, you know. I have passion for it.
Tell us more.
I have a tight schedule. So to save time, I try to answer my calls and messages while driving.
Isn't it risky?
Oh, Massa, listen. 120 kilometers per hour. On a 50 kilometers per hour road, I do. And small talking on the phone while driving, you say it is risky. It is not.
But you and your kids are not strapped in.
I know. And these children are tough. Don't mind the body.
So how do you feel about yourself?
I feel proud. I love my job.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do Abonsamejuma. Stay alive. This Stay Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
25 years experience.
Tell us more about this experience.
Me like this, if I don't drink, I can't drive at all. And I love speedy rough. See, I can travel from here to Tamale in the north. Tired.
How many lives have you wasted?
20 pounds. I can't even count.
Is it normal?
Oh yes, it is normal. Taking life, it is part and parcel.
How do you think their families feel?
I don't know them, so I have 25 years experience.
Tell us more about this experience.
Me like this, if I don't drink, I can't drive at all. And I love speedy rough. See, I can travel from here to Tamale in the north. Tired.
How many lives have you wasted?
20 pounds. I can't even count.
Is it normal?
Oh yes, it is normal. Taking life, it is part and parcel.
How do you think their families feel?
I don't know them, so I don't know.
What will you say to the people doing the devil's work like you?
Is it they should keep up the good work. There is this joy hearing your passengers scream.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do a... No, ma'am. So you've applied for the devil's work?
Oh, yes. It's such an easy job, you know. I have passion for it.
Tell us more.
I have a tight schedule. So to save time, I try to answer my calls and messages while driving.
Is it not risky?
Masa, listen. 120 kilometer per hour on a 50 kilometer per hour road, Grammy, I do. And small talking on the phone while driving, you say it is risky. It is not.
But you and your kids are not strapped in.
I know. And these children, they are tough. Don't mind the body.
So how do you feel about yourself?
I feel proud. I love my job.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do a bonsamejuma.
Hello, ma'am. So you've applied for the devil's work?
Oh, yes. It's such an easy